Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. Welcome back to the show. We are joined once again by Raquel Williams. Excited to have her here. And let me first have her introduce herself. By the way, the website, it's raquelrwilliams.com.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. So she's a rapid transformational therapist and so much more. Would you mind just telling us a little bit about yourself for those new listeners and viewers today?
Sure. As Jill mentioned, I do rapid transformational therapy, but I'd like to tie it in with other tools. I'm also a Heal Your Life instructor and life coach and mindset coach. I think they're similar, but a little different.
Awesome. A lot of modalities. And to
Yeah.
start, let's recap from last week. Some listeners probably weren't with us. So do you want to talk about our belief systems and our stuck emotions?
Yeah, well, last week we were talking a little bit about fibromyalgia and insomnia and how those stuck emotions can manifest in our body, which in my case, it was fibromyalgia and horrible insomnia. And I really just wanted to point out, because I realized that there are some things that I didn't touch on. Number one, my journey was 12 years. It took me 12 years to understand how to get out of this, how to release those emotions from my body, how to undo the programming in my mind. But for the person listening, it doesn't have to take you 12 years. It doesn't. That was just my journey in understanding what the hell happened to me when one day I stopped sleeping. And fibromyalgia is so such a big. I talk to so many people that are struggling with pain in their back, in their neck, and understanding it. And I really just wanted to mention, if you don't even recognize that that's what it is, fibromyalgia is stiffness, it's pain to the touch, it's feeling like you have the flu every day, it's headaches, it's fatigue, like just exhaustion. You can walk up the stairs and just feel like you're out of breath because there's nothing left inside of you. So, anyone that's feeling that they are experiencing chronic, mayhem in their body and not understanding why, because they've gone to the doctor, they've gone to people to try to understand it, and nothing is helping. I really just wanted to reiterate. Hope I said that word right. Yeah. That there's an answer. There's an answer. One that got me my life back.
Oh, beautiful. And the answer to you is it RTT? Is it a little of everything?
You know what, Jill? If I wish there was a magic bullet and I could say it's just RTT. RTT played a huge role. It really did. And that was a part of my healing journey. But there's also this process that I incorporate of helping the body release those stuck emotions. So wellness is a combination of not just undoing the programming and understanding the root cause, but then assisting the body release the energy that is stuck, that's actually manifesting that illness.
Oh, well, thank you for sharing that. And thanks again for sharing your experience. And it's not an easy journey, all you went through, and doctors not believing you and trying to figure out, and then here you are, self-diagnosing basically, right? After all those years and the hardships you went through. Now, by the way, how is your sleep? Do you sleep normally now?
Oh, yeah. Much better.
Okay.
Much. I mean, I'm getting at least 6 hours now, 7 hours on some nights. I mean, it's to me, that is fantastic. From where I came from. Yeah, that is awesome. And you mentioned the self-diagnosing, and oh my gosh, Jill, I got yelled at by so many doctors with saying that to me. You're self-diagnosing. And it's like, yeah, because you're missing the mark. You're not getting what I'm telling you. Yeah. But ultimately, that self-diagnosis was correct. So, to the people listening,
you know your own body better than anyone else. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, you got to listen to your instincts. You got to listen to your gut. Just because someone has a white coat or so-called experience doesn't mean that they know the answer for you.
Got it. Absolutely. Well, what did you have in mind for us today? What did you want to explore?
I really wanted to kind of go over what some of the indicators or how I'm going to say trauma, but we've talked about what trauma is. Trauma is simply a negative experience. It could be on the highest level. It could be a teacher that made you feel inadequate. It could be a child whose parents were always working and they felt unloved. So trauma doesn't necessarily mean what people make it to mean all the time. It's just anything that left a negative impact on you. But I wanted to talk about how it presents, because a lot of times people don't even realize, like, don't wait, like me, don't wait until your body's falling apart, right? Don't wait until, the years have gone by and you can't understand, why can't I be in a healthy relationship? Like, I wanted to really give some indicators on how it really presents in people's life, so they could really understand this for themselves.
Got it. And if someone does have any questions, let's urge them to reach out as well. We're going to open up the phone lines, 631 631 205 6593 to 631 205 6593. If you have any questions, please feel free to call Raquel and ask. Again, she's here to take calls, to answer anything she has, whether it's something she's talking about today in a past episode or any of her services. Go ahead.
Absolutely. So I have a list here that I wrote down, so I'm going to be reading off of it. But one of the things is when you feel like you're on edge all the time. So a lot of people out there that always feel like they're just on edge. That is an indicator. Another one is trouble managing emotions. So you just kind of fly off the handle very quickly. Feeling overwhelmed. Another one. Frustrated, angry over small things. Some people are just set off, right?
Totally.
Could be very small, what we consider dumb things, but they're just set off very quickly. Takes everything personal. So everything's like a personal attack or a personal hit. Not expressive at all, shuts down. There are a lot of people out there that just feel like, oh, I'm just real shy, or I'm just quiet, or I'm just to myself. But I'm going to challenge that thinking. I'm going to really ask people to take a look at why do you have a problem expressing yourself, or why are you shut down or just non-expressive? So that's a big one. Very secluded, loner, people that just keep to themselves, don't have a lot of friends. And again, they'll say, oh, it's just the way I am. I've always been that way. But why? We're meant to have community. We're meant to have friends. Right? So that's a big one. Feeling unseen, like you don't matter or you don't belong. A lot of that going on. So those feelings like you're just not enough, like you never quite measure up. It doesn't matter what the area. It could be work, it could be friends, it could be whatever it is, but you're always feeling like you just don't measure up. You always put everyone first. People pleasers. Constantly looking to gain approval and acceptance from other people. Big. I see that a lot as well. And I have one more written here, disconnected. You just really feel disconnected from yourself and everyone else. So I'm really going to encourage people, if you hurt yourself on that list, to really look at your life, look at yourself, Jill, because we don't have to live this way. And I think we've just been told that, that's just the way it is, or people fall into, oh, that's just the way I am.
So if someone is feeling like this, what do you recommend?
Well, number one, I want them to understand that it doesn't have to be that way. And it's not this is just the way I am, or just the way it is. And then this is where I would come in and help people figure out, what is this? Why don't I speak up? Why do I spend all of my energy on other people, on other things, but I'm never doing anything for myself? How come I'm not important in my own life? Tons of people that I talk to that feel like they're constantly going, constantly doing, constantly spending energy on everything and everyone, but their own life is falling apart. So that's where RTT really is beneficial, because that's where we can deal with the subconscious mind, Jill, and get to the root. Like, why is this? Why are you feeling this way? Or why are you behaving this way? If it's people pleasing, or if it's just not having a voice. You'd be so surprised on how many people just don't use their voice. They just don't feel that they can.
What's holding them back usually? It's the fear of, I mean, so
It's
much.
it could be a number of things. I just worked with a young lady where what came up for her was that as a child, she was never given a voice. She was always told to shut up. She was always told, that she didn't get to have an opinion. Just
Mhm.
shut your mouth. You have to listen. And so she grew up feeling like she didn't have a place in this world, like she didn't matter and she couldn't use her voice, but she never understood why. Like, where did that come from? And we were able to identify several things in her past where this belief system was created in her. So sometimes it's fear, sometimes it's unworthiness. Sometimes it's just shut up, because when you speak up, bad things happen. So we have to get to the root and see what is it for you, so that we can tell your mind the truth and unleash your voice, because everyone deserves to have a voice.
Yeah. Oh, wow. I was just talking earlier about my own issue, which could, is an issue for a lot of parents, I would say. But the defiancy with children and being a better parent, and then I'm realizing, oh my goodness, I'm doing the same thing my mother used to do. I'm yelling and I'm scaring my kids. And I remember that. Oh, we got a call. Hold on one second. Hello, welcome to the show. You're live on the line. Who's this?
My name is Vinny.
Hi, Vinny. How are you?
Well, I've been better.
Oh, okay. What's going on? Just to let you know, you are live on the show right now. Raquel Williams is here joining us. Please share your story. Ask any questions you may have.
Okay. I'm just feeling a little overwhelmed uh, with bills
Overwhelmed with bills.
and home life.
Home life. What is home life like, if you don't mind me asking too much? But just to give Raquel a
Well,
little sense.
it's just I get home and the stress from work and the stress from the bills, and then when I get home, they pile on the stress.
Yes.
I have a wife and 2 kids. And the kids are great, but when I'm stressed, I don't want to take it out on them. But sometimes,
Yeah.
you know,
So is it Vinny? Vin?
Vinny, yeah.
Vin. Hi, I'm Raquel. So nice to meet you.
Hi, how are you, Rika?
I'm well, thank you. Sorry to hear you're having a tough time there. So
Yeah.
let me ask you a question, Vin. Has the money thing, money being tight, that's what it sounds like one of the issues are, has that been a reoccurring theme in your life?
At times, yes, especially now.
Well, that's understandable. There's a lot going on in the world right now. But
Yes, exactly.
whenever there are stressors, Vin, whether they're financial or you're coming home and the home life, it just seems to be exasperating it. There's always something else to look at, right? So definitely would want to see, okay, what's going on in terms of why the money is so tight right now. I mean, I come from a world of there is nothing but abundance. And I know when money is tight, that sounds like, oh, please. That's not something I
Right.
want to hear. Money is tight. Things are difficult in the world. But what I learned, Vin, that changed my life completely, is that even money is a mindset, and that there's an energy and a root cause that keeps us from being and doing and receiving, because we're never going to receive more than we think that we're worth. So when I talk about money in that sense, there's always even something there. If money is tight, and then you bring in the home element and feeling those stressors,
Mhm.
I encourage you to just take a deep breath and to know that whatever is causing that effect in your family life and in your finances, that there is an answer. There's just a matter of doing a little bit of digging. Life doesn't have to be that hard. It doesn't have to be that stressful. And when you can get your family on the same page, when you can kind of release the things that have keeping you feeling so stressed out, because if you're stressed and you come home, do you think your kids are going to feel it?
Yes, yes, I do.
Absolutely. It's a ripple effect, right? So I mean, I would love to continue this conversation with you sometime, but really just dig a little deeper and see what are some of the areas we can help really clear up, especially energetically, for you that would relieve some of that financial stress and then help you in the communication and really bringing more peace back into the family, into the home.
Yes, there's nothing I'd love more.
Any tips or advice to give him just for today to start? I mean, is there anything he could start to do on his own?
You know, something as simple then as taking some quiet time for yourself. A lot of times you're at work, you're go, 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 you come home and you jump right into the kids and everything that's going on. Something as simple as taking a walk before you step into home, or 10 or 15 minutes just to breathe and quiet your mind, can be huge. We don't take any time in this crazy world to really just even focus on ourselves for a minute. And if you can allow yourself that time, subconsciously, you're telling yourself that you matter, that you're important, because you're taking a minute for you. And then just breathe, just deep breaths, like 6 deep breaths to help your whole system just kind of calm and regulate itself, and just get quiet. Just quiet your mind for just a few minutes, even 5 minutes. I understand sometimes life is busy, you got to go, but 5 minutes of doing this will just bring more calm, more clarity, and sometimes even ideas that come into your mind of answers that we're looking for, that we just get too busy to even listen. So I encourage you to just take 10, 15 minutes a day for you to breathe, to walk, to quiet your mind. And I promise that in itself will make a difference.
That sounds like a great idea. I thank you.
You're very welcome.
Thank you so much. Have a fantastic day. We appreciate the call. If you want to reach out to Raquel, just share your contact information.
Yes,
Sure.
it's RaquelRWilliams.com. And the number is 415-347-6861.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Raquel.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you,
Anyone else
Vin.
want to call? We can as well. 631-205-6605, 631-205-6605. And now great call. I forgot what we were talking about, so hopefully you remember.
What were we talking about?
I don't remember. It's ringing.
I think you were actually sharing, Jill. You were saying how
about me,
dealing
my
with
yelling.
the kids.
The yelling at night. The kids won't go to bed, and we still co-sleep, just the 3 of us. So that's also a problem. People say I love it, but now it's hard to go to bed. No one wants to go to sleep, and I'm trying to set the rules, and then all of a sudden, it turns into every night the same pattern, and I start screaming like, "Go to bed!" I have to scream, and then my little guy gets scared, holds his ears, and he's like, "Mom!" And then I remember, oh my gosh, my mom used to scream. I have to hold my ears. I'm doing exactly what my mom did to my kids. That's not good.
Oh.
How do I stop it? Every day I say I'm not going to yell. I try to talk about it in the morning. Tonight, guys, when we go to bed, you got to listen to mom, and no fighting and no this and no. And it just always evolves to the same pattern of behavior. And it's sad because I know what it feels like, but I also don't know how to stop it.
Did you say we're co-sleeping? Your kids are sleeping with you?
Oh yeah, they've been sleeping with me since day one. Yes.
And how old are they?
8 and 6.
8 and 6. Okay. You're awesome. I know. We just want our kids with us, and we want to love them, and we want them close to us. But if I can offer you something in doing that with our children, when they get to a certain age, we're actually preventing them from finding that independence and that security in self.
Mm-hmm.
So they grow to depend on having someone with them, mom with them, brother, sister with them, or they're scared.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right. So I really would encourage them being able to now explore sleeping on their own, and understanding and feeling that they're safe, knowing that they're safe and that it's fun, and that you're a big boy, you're a big girl. Is it boys or girls, or both?
Two boys.
Two boys.
But yeah,
Okay,
we've done that, and we do the whole I'll lay with you till you fall asleep, and then no matter what, they'll wake up screaming in the night, come to me, and that pattern keeps going and going, and I just can't not disrupt my sleep in my life anymore. I've tried this for years, and I'm like, after a few times, I can't do it. I just, it's easier to sleep together. I'll sleep with you guys come sleep with me. So
I totally get it, and it will take time, because
I'm like, no offense, but he's 8, the other one's 6. I'm like, they're not going to want to sleep with me much longer. There's going to come a time where they want to move away. So I'm like, I don't know what to do with that whole, because now they're next to me and I want to stay up later to do things around my house. I want to, but I can't
Right.
because I have to lay with them. And then they get it. So it's like this whole, they shouldn't be in my bed. I know that. And it's causing them and me. And then I become the bad mom now. I say, go lay in your room. And they just wake up anyway in a few hours. And that's like the whole pattern. Yeah.
It is. It is. And it will take time. It will
Yeah.
take time, and maybe even incentivizing some of the behavior. And okay, guys, if you sleep in your bed tonight, this is
I'll give
what
you
we'll
soda
do.
for breakfast.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
That bad? Yeah. Yeah. That's what they want.
Yeah, that's probably not a good idea. But yeah, just letting them know, you know what? If you guys, if you sleep all week, we'll go do this. Like incentivizing good behavior is big with kids. I know when my kids were little, my husband and I wanted them to read more. And we wanted them to enjoy reading and understand that as you get older, okay, you can go pull weeds and make money, and understanding the entrepreneurial mindset, I guess, is what we were trying to do, right? So you can go do the hard work and the hard labor, and yeah, you can make money doing that, or you can read this book and we'll give you $20,
Yeah.
right? And so we wouldn't really wanted to incentivize reading. And it paid off because they're readers, right? And they understand, or they have a love for it now. Whereas before it's like, oh, but I read so much at school. Why do I want to read at school? But just incentivizing behavior that we know is good for them. So if you know that that's good for your boys, right? What do they want? Like, what can you incentivize for them to make them want to make that shift? It might be a little easier.
Yeah, maybe a new wrestler, a new toy.
It could be. It could be. They're 6 and 8, right? So
Yeah.
they could let you know what would be important to them. And then
Mhm.
even if they wake up in the middle of the night, letting them know. And it might take a week or two of you getting a little interrupted and having to walk them back to their bed, but reminding them, this is what we're doing now. And
Mhm.
really staying true to that pattern, and it will shift.
And that'll help me stop yelling at them and my own
Well,
frustration?
well, right
Or
now
is
it
that
seems like their
something?
life and your life is really commingled, right?
It's
So like you're saying,
24/7. Yeah. I need
yeah,
some space. I need a break.
right. So that'll allow you some space. The yelling and stuff, those are different things. We talked a little bit today about how different traumas present themselves, right? And so there are triggers. Like,
Yeah.
what is it that your son is saying or doing that, what does it make you feeling, right? What are
Well,
you feeling in that moment?
well, then he gets, because now it's bedtime, and I said, "Well, you guys go to bed. I want to step. I have to do step." And then it's like, "You don't love me. I'm the hated child. You hate me." And it's that, and I'm like that guilt trip. No, mommy, I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. He's, you don't want to cozy me. You don't want to. I'm like, the guilt trip.
Well, it sounds like one of them's going to be a good attorney.
Yeah, the oldest. Yeah.
It's really kids can manipulate very well, and they
Yeah.
can learn the art of manipulation very young. But it's just reminding them, no, I love you, you're everything to me, and you're
Mm-hmm.
still going to bed.
Yeah. Good one. Good one. Yeah. Okay.
It's funny, Jill. We really, when we parent from a place of, I'm not going to be who my parents were to me. I'm not going to be anything like them. I'm not going to treat them. They're not that way. They're not going to be in this environment. And that is our heart as mothers, right? I even
Yeah.
believe that that was my mother's heart with me.
Yeah.
But what happens is we become moms and we can only duplicate who we are. And then we
Mm-hmm.
have these triggers that when they make us feel a certain way, we react. And
Yeah.
there's no getting around that until you start to really do the work to understand, why do I behave this way? Why does it make me feel this way when he does this? Right? It's like, I love my kids. The last thing I would have wanted is to put my child, I have 2 boys and a girl, to put any of them through anything that I went through.
Mm-hmm.
And now that they're 22 and 16, and I have one that just turned 30. So I have a man child.
Oh my
And
gosh.
I look at their lives and I look at some of the things they're going through, and now I can see it.
Yeah.
I can see the effect that my behavior had on them, or my husband's. I'm going to give him 50%. It wasn't all me,
Mm-hmm.
me or dad. But I can see it now.
Yeah.
And no matter how much I wanted to do things differently,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't, because I couldn't until I started to understand why I was even behaving that way. And that's really big for people to understand. Like, you could have the heart to want to do things different, to change, to, you know what I mean? To do all those things, like be that awesome mom that just lets your kids sleep with you. Like, I know your heart in it. You love your babies. You want them with you and close to you, and to know that they're loved. Like, that's normal. That's who we are as moms, right? But what we don't understand is why we feel a certain way, or why we do certain things, or why they'll behave a certain way, and it'll flip us out, and we get all angry and irritated and start yelling.
Yeah.
And so the best thing I ever did was really go through the challenges I went through. Those 12 years of getting my own butt kicked and not understanding my body crashing. And it wasn't just my body, Jill. Life was nuts. You know, finances were always crazy. Relationships were crazy. I always felt like people didn't like me, especially women, you know, and I had more guy friends than girlfriends, and told myself it was normal. It wasn't normal. Those were just my own belief systems. Like, I didn't know how to be with other women because of, and then maybe this is a good one for us to talk on one of these shows here, but, you know, jealousy and insecurity and not feeling like you're enough and competing with other women. Holy cow.
Yeah. Big one for me too. I can empathize and relate with that one. Yeah, for sure.
It is big. And it's not because
I'm like 45. I have mostly men friends. I have one best girlfriend. That's it. But other than that, yeah, I got another new girlfriend, but no, I relate better. Yeah. My whole life. Always been an issue.
Yeah, I can relate to that. And just thinking, oh, women are catty, or women are this, or I just don't get along with women. Yeah. And what was it about me? What was it about Raquel that I felt that way about other women, and that I got that type of energy from other women? Because it's never about the other person. It's about us. What are we giving out? Yeah. What are we believing?
Why are we feeling this when it's probably, something wrong with us that we're not doing right? Or, it's
always about.
We gotta go. Sorry, we have a minute left. Wow. Raquel Williams. Okay, let's sum up for today. Go ahead.
Oh gosh, I'm all thrown off too. So where do I even go? Just understand that life is a mirror. You're going to keep hearing me say this. And people in our life, situations in our life, things manifesting in our bodies, there are answers. There are answers. And you do not have to keep living the way that you're living, even feeling like you're not enough, unworthy, secluded, and all that stuff. You don't have to live that way.
Perfect. Well, thank you. And how do we reach out to you? And
phone number is 415-347-6861. Website is Raquel, RAQUEL, Williams.com.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Good conversation today, as always. And we'll continue to pick this up next week. Okay.
Sounds good.
Thanks
Jill.
again, Hannah. Thank you to our caller, Vinny. I think that was your name. Good luck to you. Reach out if you want as well to Raquel.
Sounds good.
And thanks for the call. Have a great day.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house.
And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.